Now let's go and see what this thing called the Nordic model really is. If you look at the Nordic region, you'll see a few countries there. They are Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Iceland. When you hear about these countries, you probably feel a very calm and peaceful vibe. That's because, as we all know, people in those countries live happily. They are wealthy, they have money in their hands, and at the same time, they manage to live very relaxed and joyful lives. So how do they do this? If you take a look at a country like America, for example, they have free markets. People work hard, compete in the marketplace, and earn money through that competition. With the money they make, they go back to the free market and buy whatever they need. In this kind of capitalist system, countries often become rich with very large economies. But because everyone has to provide their own needs, like education, healthcare, pensions, and so on, stress levels tend to be high. People are constantly pushed to work harder, to earn more money, to face competition, and to increase their income. This system also produces very individualistic people who think mostly about themselves. Now let's see how a socialist country works. In such countries, the main goal is social justice and equality. The government steps in and provides things like education, healthcare, and social security. Most of the time, the economy is managed with heavy government involvement. Planning is often done by the state. In these places, people prefer to work collectively rather than individually. Since education, healthcare, pensions, and social protection all come from the state, people don't have to stress about those things. They can live a relatively peaceful life. But in such countries, the focus on producing wealth is lower. Because of that, their economies often remain smaller. When wealth is shared equally, everyone ends up being poor together. As government income reduces, the quality of public services also falls. So then, how does the Nordic model work? If you're vibing with this so far, smash that subscribe button like it owes you money. In Nordic countries, they strongly believe in free markets. They focus a lot on wealth creation. People and companies are free to own property, compete, innovate, and create new products and services. They sell these in global markets and earn a lot of money, just like in America. But here's the difference. While following capitalism, these countries also have very powerful welfare states. Their citizens get free education, free healthcare, pensions, and even benefits if they lose their jobs. If someone can't afford a house, the government helps. Because of these features, many people think the Nordic model is socialism, but in reality, it is built on capitalism. We can call it soft capitalism or capitalism with care. So in Nordic countries, people are rich, they have money, and at the same time, most of their basic needs are covered by the government. That's why they don't stress much, and they can live happily. How did they manage to balance the good parts of capitalism and socialism? For decades, many groups worked together, political parties on both the left and right, and also trade unions. After World War II, these countries leaned more towards socialism. Later, in the 1980s and 1990s, they leaned more towards capitalism. Finally, they learned to balance both. So what makes this model successful? First, good governance. That means strong rule of law, equal treatment, efficiency, transparency, and accountability. Over time, this built a high level of trust in the government. Second, economic freedom. Free, active markets with low regulations and relatively low corporate taxes. This allows private companies to compete, innovate, and produce high-value goods and services. Because of this, Nordic countries have strong economies, attract foreign investment, and grow even more. But here's another important point. In a normal capitalist country, companies could keep big profits while giving workers low wages. But in the Nordic model, that doesn't work. Why? Because worker welfare is protected by strong labor laws and very active trade unions. Workers have power, so companies must share profits fairly with employees. That means high salaries, comfortable working conditions, vacations, and other benefits. Because of this, labor force participation is very high. Unemployment is very low. Women also take part in the workforce in large numbers, which makes the labor market even bigger. So to summarize, Nordic countries have good governance, economic freedom, strong private companies, and also strong worker protections. As a result, companies make good money, employees get high wages, and people have disposable income. Because of this, Nordic people are both wealthy and stress-free about their basic needs. They live happy lives, so this is how the Nordic model really works.